I think it's always good to frame what you're asking for in terms of the other person and what they want. So if you look at our two drafts, like
Mm-hmm.
what you wrote versus what I wrote, I think the biggest difference, well, there are two big differences. One is I use a lot of words like sincerely and genuinely,
Mm-hmm.
which, like, people love that shit. And the other one is I really try to say, I want this to feel like a good decision for Twitter. Like, it's
Right.
basically appealing to her motivation, which is you know that she is trying to do the best job she like if you get to a high level executive position, you are motivated by doing a good job. Even if you're motivated by power, you know that the way to get power is to do a good job,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm appealing to her and saying, I know you, I recognize you as a person who's trying to do a good job. I'm trying to say that this is a good thing for you to do since your motivation for Twitter is to make this the marketplace of ideas, whatever the fuck that means. And I'm very sincere. And so like when I was like appealing to you, I did, I started with, I want to invest in your company. And I thought long and hard, what can I bring to the table that will align our interests? Like, how can I make him feel like it's in his best interest to take me on as an investor?
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I shot my shot. Maybe it wasn't enough. But I think generally speaking, if you can't find that common ground and say, like, yeah, it is in their best interest to do this, you're not super likely to be successful generally.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would say is like the message is super important, like the way you say it, and getting it in front of the right person. And getting it in front of the right person, believe it or not, is not usually that hard. It's the
Gotcha.
message that's usually the hard part.
Okay.
Which brings me to Twitch, because you briefly mentioned that. I don't know what message. Like, I'm trying to imagine myself in like a Twitch executive's position.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just give you my mental model of the whole situation, and you can correct me. Like, my mental model of Twitch is that they're probably under a lot of financial pressure. It sounds like they're really hemorrhaging money.
Yeah.
And Amazon just had a huge wave of layoffs. It was larger than anybody expected.
Yeah, I think
So,
18,000 plus. I think they've said now or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if Twitch has had layoffs. I don't think they have yet, but like, you have to imagine if you're somebody who's working at Twitch,
Mm-hmm.
you're looking at the Amazon layoffs, you're looking at all the pressure to reduce costs and increase money. Like, money is going to be on your mind. So the thing to appeal to in my mind, if you're talking to an executive from Twitch, is here is how this is a good financial decision.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see you as a good financial decision for Twitch. Even if I had a direct connection to somebody at Twitch, I don't think I could make a case. I wouldn't do it because my perception of what you want is to be unbanned so you can go on people's streams, but not so you can stream yourself.
Well, that's half true, but that's only because I'm scared I'll get banned again.
Yeah, but like, I think, okay, so what you're saying is, at best, you would stream on there as a brand risk, and at a time when they're very skittish about losing any advertisers. And at worst, you would be unbanned and not even contribute anything to their bottom line.
I think to frame this more charitably towards myself, okay? Look, I'm advocating for myself, okay? To frame this more charitably to myself, I hold Twitch fully responsible for that in terms of the brand risk thing because people are just so unclear about what their TOS is. And now, and I'll caveat that caveat with an understanding that, like, on the vast majority of users on platforms are not getting banned, right? Like, my guess is the banned users on a platform is probably less than 1%. That'd be my guess. Maybe even a fraction of that. And then when it comes to streamers, first, well, go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
I know exactly where you're going. And
Yeah.
like,
Whoa, wait,
truth
wait,
is-
real quick. Let me keep going.
fine.
Okay, let me keep running down the road. Okay, yeah. So very few people are getting it. I understand that. So like I'm already in like, and this is kind of this is why my approach to Twitter is like I don't like this lady told me I got 100 tweets like fuck it, fuck me, or whatever, right? So I understand that, but the frustrating part on my end is that like if they're clear with the TOS. I won't break it. Like because a lot of people will look at my content and they'll be like, oh, like you like to flirt with the line a lot. Not really. If I know where the line is to getting banned, I'm gonna stay away the fuck away from that. So for instance, that lady, when she tweeted back or when she responded to me and she was like, you saying that you want people to kill themselves, that's like a violent threat. I had no fucking idea. Now that I know that, I'm never gonna tweet that again. I just won't. I won't even pretend to. Because why the fuck would I risk my fucking account? Yeah. And it's similar.
And then
with,
what was your second tweet when you came back? It like had a swastika in it, right? And then I think you deleted it.
Okay, I deleted it, but it was clearly a joke. And
I
and
know it was
but
clearly a
hold on.
joke.
But I was responding to somebody that also had a swastika in it.
I know you were. Look. If I can give you some feedback,
Yeah,
here,
go.
Like,
Yeah.
I think a lot of times you get lost in the ideal. You'll say things that I think are true, which is like, man, it would be great if all these platforms had a well-defined TOS, which is 100% true. And not just that, sometimes these platforms are inconsistent about how they apply it. Also true. It doesn't matter though, because that's the way that the world is. So you can either continue to be frustrated by that, or you can cater to the fact that that's the way it is. It's never going to be completely clear. Even with Twitter, you have a thing that's on the list now that you know is a violation, and you're not going to do it. But if you continually do things that might not be so well received, you're going to get banned. Like, I'll tell you this. The litmus test in my mind is that when I was telling people in my life about this, how ashamed do I feel about telling them that I got you unbanned? Because the first question they'll ask is, what did he get banned for? And I'm like, oh, well, he told a few people to kill themselves, which it turns out most people frown on.
Yeah, of course. Sure.
So I think if you're always doing things that haven't explicitly been said to be bad, but most people probably are going to frown at, occasionally you're going to cross the line of some unwritten rule.
Sure, but I mean, like, that puts me in a really awkward spot because that's like probably like 80% of my fucking content. Right?
Do you think that's actually true?
Like screaming at people, being like very aggressive online, like
no, screaming and being aggressive is one thing. Tweeting a swastika, I mean, you did delete it to be fair. Telling people to kill themselves, there's definitely a difference between these types of things.
Yeah, there probably is. Sure, there are like some types of aggression that are probably more socially acceptable, and some types of aggression that probably aren't. But then I also, again, I wish if it was just like clearly outlined, like
it's never going to be clearly outlined.
Yeah, I know, but that's the frustrating part. And also keep in mind, like, because my real life behavior is gonna be like, if you were to go to a person online and be like, holy shit, like if you're in a group, like, oh my god, guys, somebody in the Twitter thing, he told him to kill himself. Like nobody's gonna care, right? But like if I was hanging out with real life people and I got into a discussion with someone, I was like, bro, you should fucking kill yourself. I would never say that in real life because it's a totally different environment, you know?
I think you think it's totally different. I will say that the people that I talk with, like, they cringe a little bit when they hear me say, oh yeah, he told some people to kill themselves.
Sure. I mean, I can imagine that depending on the, yeah.
This has been the universal reaction. Like, I'll give you another anecdote. A work friend of mine didn't know that I watch your content, but he brought up that he watches your content. And, he was almost ashamed when he was admitting it. He was saying things like, he uses a lot of gamer words, and I'm not...
Okay, I don't even use that many gamer words anymore, okay? Damn.
Look, I'm telling you my experience. You can't invalidate my experience.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm fighting you a lot, but I understand and I agree with what you're saying. There's a lot of stuff that I engage in online that, like, for real world shit, yeah, it's like, oh shit, like, I even joke when somebody says, like, oh, like, I've seen, when somebody sees a lot of my content, I meet them, even like for girls, I meet a girl like, oh yeah, I've seen a lot of your stuff, even I cringe. I'm like, oof, okay, well, what have you seen? Because that's gonna be really important. I understand what you're saying, yeah.
Anyways, I'm not trying to say you should change anything. I'm just saying that
it's something to be aware of.
The natural consequences of your actions.
Sure.
It's not a particular surprise.
Yeah.
And if you continue to do this, I mean, it's like, I don't know how long it's going to be till you get your Twitter account banned again. Like, sure. I thought you were going to do it on day one.
Sure. I guess, like, for me, it's difficult because in my mind, it's like, it's just such a weird world to be in. And I understand, I guess, it's the onus is on me to figure it out. But, like, I've got, like, hundreds of people tweeting, like, way worse shit at me constantly. But I guess...
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, because they don't get reported because it's a smaller account. I understand that. So, like, they're not going to get banned. And then, like, ideologically, there are a lot of people that are just, like, fucking when, like, Andrew Anglin is getting unbanned, like, are you fucking serious? This guy founded the Daily Stormer. I think this guy's, like, hiding in another country from, like, extradition from the United States. And so it's, like, a really mindfucky world that, like, I live on that platform. But, like, if I tell somebody to, like, end themselves, like, I'm going to get permabanned. That's just really strange for me. And I know I've got to, like, I have to work that into my brain, obviously, to figure out that, like, well, that's just how these platforms work, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, like, you're looking for a consistent set of rules, and I'm telling you that will never happen. There's always going to be inconsistencies. Hassan's always going to be able to call you a Gusana or whatever, and that's going to be, like, acceptable.
Just that's just what you got to live with, yeah.
That's the world, that's the cross you have to bear, okay?
True.
But if you don't accept that and you just approach it idealistically, you're going to keep getting stonewalled.
Sure. All right. Bye. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.